This is the Excel video that shows the Excel skills for section 2.2, which is finding the mean, median, and mode, and then looking at the shape of the distribution. So here I've got some data, and I already sorted it. So if you don't remember how to sort, you just highlight all of your data, and then go up to sort and filter, and sort it smallest to largest. And this is the same data that we used back in the 2.1 video, so you could just pull up that old Excel file or reopen the data from your Blackboard page. So to start off, we want to find the mean. And the mean is just another word for finding the average. So what you could do is you could add up all 30 of these data points and divide by 30, or we can let Excel do the hard work for us. So the way I'm going to show you this is by using what's known as the function wizard feature. There are a bunch of other ways you could do this, and again, I don't really care how you do it as long as you get to a correct answer. Again, I'm going to show you function wizard because it's consistent, and that way people that are new to Excel aren't going to be overwhelmed with a whole bunch of options, but if you do it differently, that's fine. So function wizard we access by clicking on the FX button kind of in the middle center of your screen. So we call this the function wizard. And first thing you want to do is change your category to statistical, and everything in this class will be under statistical because this is a statistics class. So if we scroll down to the M's, went too far, there's not a choice for the mean. But if you look at the very top, there is a choice for average. So the average is just another way to describe the mean. So I'm going to click on that. And then all you have to do is highlight all of your data and then click OK. So highlight all of your data and then click OK. And that adds everything up and divides by the number 30. And so we see the average cost for a GPS unit is $210.13 according to this data. So the median, very similar. We go up to function wizard, scroll down to the M's, and there is a median function. So we're going to highlight everything and hit OK again. And Excel knows what to do. It knows that if there's an odd number of data points, to find the one that's exactly in the middle. It knows that if there's an even number, to find the middle two and then average them. And so in this case, it says the median is 200. And if we look at it closer, let's see, there's 30 data points. So that means the points 15 and 16 share the middle. So even though this was an even number of data points, the two middle numbers were exactly the same, which is why it makes it look like the median is just one single number and not a decimal. But what really happened here is that the 200 and the 200 were averaged, giving us an average of 200. It's a little anticlimactic, but do know that this median does represent the average of the two middle numbers because there are an even number of points in this data set. And then the last is the mode, and the mode is a little bit different. The Excel functions for mode can be a little bit glitchy. The one I like to use is just mode. It's an older function, so you have to type it in. It's not under function wizard, but if you just type equal mode and then highlight your data, close parenthesis, and then hit OK, it's going to say that the mode is 200, so it finds you a mode. And if you notice, 200 shows up, looks like that's 4 times, 1, 2, 3, 4. But the problem with this mode function is that it will only ever find one. So you always need to look to see if there's another mode. So let's see, looking at here, 150 shows up 3 times. 250 shows up 3 times. 400 shows up twice. So it does look like 200 is the only mode of the set. If by chance there had been another 130, if it had shown up 4 times, then you would just manually say, all right, 130 is an additional mode. But since it doesn't show up 4 times, it's not. But do know that that mode function, it only will ever show you one. There is a mode multi function in Excel, but it's a little bit glitchy and it's kind of annoying to work, and most students actually prefer to just do it by hand rather than trying to use the mode multi function in Excel. But if you want to look it up and figure it out, that's awesome. Again, you are welcome to do Excel however you want as long as you get to the same answer. Alright, so we have our mean, median, and mode, showing us that these GPSs have an average of about $210, and then the middle value and the most popular value are the same at $200. So let's look at this graph's distribution. On sheet 2 here, I have the histogram that we made back in section 2.1. And we have the prices and our frequencies. And actually, this is a bad graph because I did not edit that horizontal axis. Sorry about that. But what we're really interested in is in the picture, and you've got the complete pretty graph back in the 2.1 notes if you want to go back and look at it. But I would say that this distribution is a skewed right distribution. So remember, the skew tells you the direction of the tail, and it looks like the data goes off and kind of elongates to the right. It means most of the data is on the left, but there's a little bit that kind of stretches out to the right. So this would be a skewed right graph. And we can also see that because the mean is higher than the median. Remember, if there's a skew, the really large values make the mean a bigger value. So since it's skewed right, the large kind of outliers way up at the top, these little points way up here in our top category, they're pulling the value for the mean up higher. If it was a skewed left graph, the mean would be smaller than the median. So that's one way to help you figure out if it's skewed left and skewed right, is by looking at which one's bigger, and then also which way does that tail elongate.